DJ Lemonka is dressed by Tall Boy Wear. Find them at 10A Goldman Street, Florida, Johannesburg.
Marol Presley's parks the car. Give up Odisa, wait, I'm 10 battle back. So she comes my direction and I know Marol Presley. I hope that my son had friends like you. And I'm like, dude. So when he passed away, I remembered Presley's mom's words, you know. So for me, like, if you know Lemonka or Manga or Mulim or Mang, and you're not like contributing towards Liam, and you know Jabba contributed towards your life and your growth and your being without Casbaga now, man. I don't know who's doing what. How let's say, can only Lemonka, you're doing yourself some serious injustice. I think the biggest challenge that we are having in for example, let's go back to Motswako, right? I don't think, starting with you, like, I think you fucked up with the Motswako tape. It must come out every year, no matter your frustration, because Motswako tape is not your own project. Like, it's a people's project. It's a young rapper's dream. It should be a young rapper's dream to be on the Motswako tape. You get what I'm saying? Because they would get to be in an album or that has got dukes, that has got more, that's got. I believe that Motswako tape must always be there.
Lemonka we born. What?
Sbizo.
It's been a minute.
Yeah, no, it's been a while.
Yeah.
I can see how similar guy, but I'll start like everybody else.
Yeah.
I know your background, accounting.
Yeah.
Are similar pele ko zjela o tsala kae wa golela kae?
No, ke goletse mo Gaborone. Ke tswa Mochudi.
Okay.
Mara ke goletse mo Gaborone. Ke tsholetse mo Gaborone. But ko makhaya ko Mochudi.
O tsholetse mo Gaborone.
Yeah. Kore ke swana le wena. Your dad and your mom ba tswa Mafikeng. Mara tsholetse ko Jozi.
Oh,
yes. Makhaya ko Maftown.
It's weird gore ngwana mo jisi mara una le bo morakeng mo go ena.
Yeah.
So how is it that stupa so phazamisa in terms of for all this glitz and glamour maru thatela moraka?
No, I think I know what I want. I think if you know your plan and you've got a plan and you stick to it, then I think there's nothing that can distract you. Yeah.
Sure. Wa keleza kae?
No, I get it's the accounts go BAC, get AAT. But I never pursued it. But I was an auditor for a short period for government. I think I worked for 4 months. Then got Taganale Jabu. Then that whole thing, like, it died a natural death. Yeah.
Taganale Jabu guy.
Because the girl was gay.
Okay.
So he had come with his mother. What happened later is he has come with his mother to Gabs at some corral. So we met like briefly. Ilore ke mo introduce go Sly go RB2 le go McD go ya rona le mo Big Duke go ya rona
uno ba mo introduce based on what
ne ke go sgela like
nasa release
nasa release introduction.
Okay
as na release introduction abatla lo lady ya gagwe mo Gaborone. So at that time he wanted somebody, but you know wala o tengwe da we do Seabelo tsamali DJ Bugs. Bugs was like a DJ, was a popular guy, like in terms of our age group. But he was like a very unreachable guy. So then Jabba had to contact me to plug him to Bugs. Or I don't know Bugs CD Bugs had some go around. So then I introduced Jabba to RB2 and Yarona. Then he went away for a very long time. Then he went to release Maftown. Then there was a guy who came back at Lakwano. Unazgela lebo Jabba ko Alan Belebo DJ Cleo.
Yes.
This guy unabinela lebo Mathosa at that time. Abantare mona Jabba mpile di CD ke tse gore ke di gonele a re le kopane, you know, 2-3 years ago. And I thought that he had quit music, you know. I think no, it was 2 years later because introduction was 1999, so he came in 1999 the first time here to Bots. Then we reconnected in 2001 or 2000 after I released Maftown. Yeah.
the reconnection, yeah, the second time or the third time, le discuss.
No, now it was like we didn't know anything about the recording business. You know, it was me. You know, a big pan.
Yeah.
It was now pan about dollar. Here we are. We are this guy who's a star. He says he's struggling. When you come here, but so you know what, he started to come here. I think the first time he came a little more rough, but we didn't know what was going on, and the gig didn't go well. But then he kept in contact. But the Morafi guys and everybody went separate ways. But he kept in contact. Whenever he was in Maftown, he will cross and come here. So he will perform at house parties. When Big Pan was turning 21, it was a massive party, I think. He came and performed there. So I think, you know, he was doing a lot of house parties because the house party scene was big in Caps. And also, he was also performing Lizard Lounge because Bugs was a resident DJ there. So Bugs will call him every month, and Jabba would come on a Friday. But Jabba would like think about 3-4 staying. At that time, it was a lot of money.
Yeah.
Jabba like he loved that thing because the 3,000 was telling me, or no, that's another. You know, yeah. And then, you know, we kept on going. You know, we kept on going, and you know, Jabba will convince you to work with him and make you feel like you are the shit and you know what you're doing. You know, you could actually take on people. So I think then, you know, he was convinced that I'm the right person to work with him. Yeah.
So this is Maftown, Come Oman.
Yeah.
When did Lekoko happen and when Baby Fed, like?
So when Oman was recorded, right, Jabba was working with a group of guys from Rao, where you were studying. Bo Mohali, Bo Mobster, there's a group of guys. Now I knew nothing about music. You know, they were trying to set up a label, you know. So, and then I told him, hey, dude, you know what? I don't think this thing, let's start a new thing. Come to boards, we register it, and start afresh. You know, that's how Lekoko Entertainment came about. And then when we released the Reloaded album, he went back to Vets. When he got to Vets University, then he came about with an idea to start a film production company because he was doing film. And I'm like, dude, you know what? I think this film thing is too risky. Because you need to have this and this and this and this and this and that. Maybe you must register a company that deals with film and focus on film. That's how the whole Lekoko Productions came about. This company called Lekoko Production. It came about as a film production company, Jabba, which he had registered with, which he had registered at the time he was still with Leano's mother, Lerato Khanya. That's the whole idea around Lekoko Productions. They tried to do it, he kept on pushing, but he was no longer using it for the film production now. I think the one time it was used for that, it was when they were doing the Respect show. But most of the time he was using his own Hip Hop Pantsola Productions. You know, Jabba was a person who liked to put out concepts, but I was not really keen on a lot of businesses and stuff like that. I was more interested in mainly the record company stuff, making sure that, you know, I think I was more passionate around that area, but I was not passionate about, I think when you came in, you come up with the Hip Hop Pantsola clothing, it was also registered. You know, he was more like, he was a man of concepts, you know, unlike now. You know, right now in the music industry, you've got people that know nothing about music coming up with ideas and pushing the artists, you know. But with Jabba, it was different. He was the guy that was the creative mind around things and coming up with ideas.
Yeah.
I don't want to say that I came up with any idea. I think most of the time I was the guy who was monetizing ideas, you know, and proof checking them. Yes, I might have contribution, but I don't think my contribution towards Jabba in terms of creative, I don't think it's more than 10%. I only got involved in one thing and one thing only. Coming up with the word YBA to Northwest. Because if you remember, it was going to be YBA /Northwest. Remember Tlhabane Mouth Town? It's got a slash there. It was based on that whole thing. So I came with said, no, don't call it YBA/Northwest, because it's like you're making two eras look the same. YBA is a Mangope era, Northwest now is an ANC era. So it has to be from YBA to Northwest, from Mangope era to ANC era. Then he came about with the plate number, right? Yeah, then he started to conceptualize it from the plate number. So like, yeah, we can do a little plate number, because now plate number like Northwest and stuff like that. Then he created that, and you guys were involved in the creating. I only saw the sleeve and everything after it was done. So like, yeah.
We were young.
But that's the only thing that I can create myself. That's the only album that I was involved in. Yeah.
So
in
at what point do you guys discuss partnership, or now we are business partners in this thing?
You know, Jabba, man, like, I think it was organic from the word go. You know, we related like that. I mean, everybody, even up to now, they call me, you know. So, yeah.
What was the deal structure? That album, YBA?
Now, from the word go, when we started with Umang, right? I always told Jeb, because like there was a lot of complaints. You know, when you go into EMI, the old EMI, not the one you go sent because still the artists were always coming up and down angry at artist deal. Now I'm a person who believes in ownership, right? So we did a license deal with EMI, but Jabba's license deal was very different from others. One, EMI was paying for the album to record it, they were paying for the marketing, and they were paying for 3 music videos. That's how it was. But you know, in a license agreement, and then we owned the music videos at the end. That's how the contract was. You know, right now, if you sign a license agreement with a major record company, you have to shoot your own music video. If they do, they own it.
What's the difference between a license agreement and an artist deal?
Yeah, with an artist deal, I agree. You don't own the master. The major, whoever pays owns the master, and probably in some cases own the publishing. So with a license,
so Jabba owned the master, YBA.
Omar, Jabba all in all owns close to 10, 12 masters. Jabba doesn't only own 2 masters. Introduction and Maftown. But he owns everything. And all the artists that we've worked with, all of them, that maybe came through the door, they own their first master. Momulimi, Casper, yourself. Because we've always told people, hey, don't sign an artist deal. Even if they don't understand, they know that Jabba said don't sign an artist deal. You know, Mojo owns Amanzi. You own the Motswako tape. Casper owns, I think, all his albums,
Then Booster Bash.
Yeah.
How did they start? What was going on? Because that was a powerful event.
Yeah. Hey, you know, we were very young, man. I think we didn't know what we were doing at that.
Seriously?
Yeah.
That was major.
Yeah, Jabba came up with the idea, right? Like I'm saying, Jabba was always the ideas guy, right? He came up with an idea like, let's do an end of year event in Botswana. I think you remember the first one was on the 27th of December.
Yes.
I'm now turning into a promoter, right? And I'm not ready to be a promoter. So we do this event, he dumps it in my hands. It's like, go run with it. It's your baby now. Nagidul. I'll come and perform Getsama. So here I am. This thing is exploding. As Jabba's brand is exploding, this thing also is exploding upwards until it crashed, you know? Because I was not a good project. You remember this thing, man, started when I was 26, 25. Right? From the age of 21 to 24, I was just a record company guy working with Jabba, get promoter, di buka, di dirang, like, you get my point. So I was not like really much into like eventing and other things. Yeah. But it was a good event. Mascom supported us. You know, they played a big role, I think, in my career and Jabba's career. And I think it also played a big role in many people's careers who are promoters now. There are many promoters that come from Booster Bet. Guys like Zayn, Aftermath, there's guys like Bo 50. There's many guys who are promoters who used to be like the activations team and running around with the thing. I think more than maybe close to 8-10 guys, like people like Panzira, Infinity, Simon Kanaimba. These are events guys. Simon Kanaimba is involved also in the Kazugula Marathon, and he just like all the spa stuff, like spa events, netball. So many guys that come from that event. Many people that come from that were involved are now like big event managers on their own, right? You know what I'm saying? Which is good, you know.
Did Motswako is anymore Jabba's catalog based on those events? Or no, or how did that come about?
No. It came about like, okay, Motswako wanted Jabba to do a voiceover and some promo stuff. So Jabba then said, no, guys, let's duela. Rather sponsor our events and our stuff when we come to Botswana. Now forever you can use my images and everything and all the ads that it was a good deal. I mean, if you look at it from that point, Motswako didn't have to do that deal. Right? Imagine you going to Vodacom now and telling Vodacom that maybe the biggest hip-hop artist and say, guys, I've got a record label, right? You can use my image, but you will have to pay for all my events that I'm doing and all my labels events.
And stage and sounds is not cheap.
And stage is not cheap. You get my point? You know, it's a good deal. You know what I'm saying? I think it worked for us. It helped us to grow to where we are. And that's what I'm saying. We'll always remain grateful to what Motswako did. I don't think that companies these days, they do that, you know. Yeah.
So when you guys did, the next album there was Acceptance Speech.
Yeah, that's the biggest all-time album, Acceptance Speech. That's the biggest WHP album ever of all time in terms of commerce, right? YB in terms of creativity, in terms of track number 1, I think up to 19 was the most successful album, right? In terms of like basically, if you look at YB, you know,
so
all the songs, when you look at some to it, it's got the biggest hits in it, like all the big except you know Bosso was on Acceptance, but no, it's on Dumela.
Motswako Africa, Bosso go Motswako Africa.
It's on Motswako Africa, yeah. No, Dumela, what's in Dumela?
I'll remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Acceptance Speech, you know, with Tswara, you've got Tonight's the Night, Tlhabane Mouth Town, you know, Walk On By. You got all the big hits, all the big songs in that album. Like, that's a classic. But commercially, remember, Acceptance Speech had a lot of crossover songs because Sticky brought in some white producers there, like Ross. Like there's a lot of diversity in terms of even the features on Acceptance Speech, and it had a lot of repackaged album. Remember, it had Acceptance Speech rewritten. It had another Acceptance Speech, right, like a special edition. You know, it had I think 2, if I'm not lying. But the rewritten is the one that was known. But the other one was not popular. Also, it was being inherited by a lot of brands, you know. Acceptance Speech, there was a deal with Status that is well known. There was another
Steamroll.
There was Steamroll as well with Acceptance Speech. There was another one with Hansa. There was another guy. The other guys who were doing digital stuff. They were from Nigeria. No, Hansa is Dumela.
Okay.
Yeah. There's another one, and then the Storm. Remember Jabba ended up going with Pro Kid and
I remember that,
to Brazil. Yeah, there was Storm, and then there was the World Cup deal as well coming out of Acceptance Speech leading to Dumela.
How many copies did it sell? I mean, or how commercially you base it on either the sales or
sales?
Yeah, how much?
So the album itself, like straight on retail music, I think it sold 90-something thousand copies. Oof. But we did a deal with Status, right? In that deal, like, they put out a promo. Like, you were buying, like, a pack of Status deodorant, spray. I forgot what else. It was a small pack and you were getting a CD. So they bought 150,000 CDs at, like, about $25. So you must say our royalty rate was 25 So if you say 25 rands times 25%, it will give you what we were getting from a disc. Oh, so you know our deal, like the way it was structured was that, people are always saying, no, we want 25% of the PPD, price published per distributor. Ours was like, we want 25% of whatever price is published on the contract. So our contract was 44 rands, was the bare minimum that EMI could sell a CD for. So we didn't have this whole thing. And because the EMI guys, like they love Jabba, like Vusi and Wakes and Mike, they inserted all these clauses in our license agreement. So we had like a contract that was said, and everyone was always saying, can't they? So Jabba always wanted to go and amend it. I think he went to different record companies. They told me, my man, we can't beat this contract. We don't know what type of contract it is. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So we did that. And I think all in all, it sold to 250,000. Also, television helped, Television helped. Remember, doing the Respect show, Jabba was coming from Strictly Come Dancing. So he was a big star and he was a big pop star. Like at that time now, I was now starting to have a lot of managers. Jen. I was a small guy. I couldn't manage such a big brand. I mean, he was now growing beyond like what probably my capacity to handle. We even DJ Fresh actually rescued us. It was Fresh like that gave us that business structure. Because Jabba was using a personal account, kana kwa YBA, if you remember. Or guys, bulang account ya banka, ya company, do this, because SARS will come after you. So that's how Jabba got Kenny to come and deal with his books from, I think it was 1999.
I remember box ID receipts.
Yeah, then box ID receipts, putting to the statement, so that Jabba, because he was becoming a star, and Fresh told him, dude, if SARS visit you, you will never want that second visit again. You will never work again. Actually, it will be the end of your career because you will never think. So I remember that whole exercise when they were doing the taxation things and stuff. That's why I will never mess with the taxman myself. Yeah.
Then Dumela. So there's something that happened with Dumela. Jabba featured Nas, and I think you facilitated either the feature or the payment of the feature.
No, both.
Okay.
So I'm very good terms with the guy that was managing Nas, Ronnie Goodman. Remember, Nas shares a birthday with Jabba. There was a time we wanted to bring him. It was very cheap. It was like about 120,000 at that time, 150. So EMI was willing to pay for that. Then he underwent a divorce with Kelly's. So the deal collapsed because it meant that any money that will come in, it had to go towards this case or some stuff like that. So when we were doing Dumela, Jabba said, no, man, you know what? Let's do a feature with Nas. Right? So we did a feature with Nas. He gave us 2 verses, right? Jabba then used the other verse and told the Nas people that they used a different verse, right? They switched the verses. So we still have a verse that is unused by Nas.
What?
Yeah, we still have a verse. Like we still have a verse that is unused by them. So when Nas released Distant Relatives, he released that verse because Jabba had told him that we used this verse. So we still have an unused Nas verse. So we paid Nas 250,000 rands for that. At that time. People thought we were crazy, but I mean, Leano's got an unused Nas verse that he also. I think in this era, like a metaverse, he can take that verse and put it on that thing, maybe make money out of it. So he's got a 250,000 verse now. And that Kilidim, we own 100% publishing and everything of it. So Nas gets 0 from it. If that song can explode right now in the US,
You just mentioned Leano. You're one of the few people that are closely looking after the boy.
Yeah.
I know Joseph, you, Snoop Kimpo, that are really invested from high school to tertiary now.
Yeah.
generally, how about Fokafala? People look the other way.
Yeah.
What kept you going? Or this boy must be taking.
No, man, his father contributed to who I am, you know. Can see what I own. I've got everything that it's about me. It's Jabba. It's a fact. People still link me with him. No matter what I do to try and
Distance yourself.
distance. People, when you talk about Seabelo, they'll tell you, Ra Seabelo aga Jabba. Or Ra Seabelo aga Ipopans. Anyway, you go to Mafikeng. I met Presley's mom, right? Presley Chenaga's mother. Because I had spoken at Jabba's funeral. So I met Mega City ki Lord Chigalea. Go Mega City. Marol Presley's parks the car. Ke mapodisa la ba itantšha batla ba pheka. So she comes my direction and her no ke mago Presley tshwana gae. Ke a go itse tsala ga Jabula. I hope that my son had friends like you and I'm
What?
dude. So when he passed away, I remembered Presley's mom's words, you know. So for me, like, if you know Lemonka or Manga or Mulim or Mang and you're not like contributing towards Leon and you know Jabba contributed towards your life and your growth and your being without Casper and Mang. I don't know who's doing what. How let's say can only Lemonka. You're doing yourself some serious injustice. Your payback time probably is when you are 60 or 70. That thing is gonna come back and haunt you because at that time you won't be popular, you won't be actively performing. This guy will be an adult and you will be seeing him probably as what he is at that time, and he will be having a perception about you. Because remember when we were when we were growing up, Jabba didn't have a wife and didn't have a woman. He was seeing everybody come in to the house and going out. So obviously he still has that memory. You know, for a child's memory, he will, when he thinks about his dad or when he remembers his dad, he will always have a picture of the people that were there at that particular time. It's not about...
For context, Jabba no Nalila.
Yeah, for context, you're staying with Ilan. And you must understand, taking care of somebody does not mean giving them money. Calling them and saying, Fana, how is it? Are you studying? Are you going to school? What's happening? How are your grades? What are you struggling with? It's enough. Actually, you have turned around his day. When he drops off the phone, he can go and tell people like, hey, Uncle Lemonka called, or Uncle Todi called, or Uncle Kia called, or Uncle Mo called. That's enough. If you want to do extra stuff, it's on you. But sometimes, I think as human beings, we tend to be consumed with our own problems, our own issues, and our own thinking, and forget that there are people who have got an expectation from us. It might not be legitimate because, hey, we're not their parents, but we've got moral, we've got a moral obligation because we have been with their parents, we have worked with their people. You get my point? We've got that moral obligation, we've got that moral contract. You get my point? So what we have, as the guys who are doing Motswako with Leon, we have a moral contract with him. Because we've got a moral contract with Jabba. Because if Jabba was any other guy, was maybe a Kwaito artist, he wouldn't have allowed Morafe to feature on Maftown. He wouldn't have allowed Casper to feature on Dumela. He wouldn't have allowed Casper to be his hype man. He could have taken somebody from Joburg and said, nah, just come scream behind my back. He wouldn't have gone to, remember the first time we met you, when we met you in the record store. I know the first time Jabba met with you, I was there. And then he later called me and said, Lemonka record show. He's going to become my DJ. And at that time, you were the first tour DJ. No, you were the, Prophets of the City had ready deal, but you were like, probably, maybe let's say you were the first probably black tour DJ that is known to stand behind an artist. You know, I remember guys like Bo Pro Kid, they started to introduce it. I think Squatter, they had Ken Zero, I forgot who they had at that time. But I know that during, just from the transition of Umang Reloaded to YB, you were the first real tour, and even Jabba had something, Lemonka, like DJ Lemonka, you know what I'm saying? He was
He
like,
actually changed my name. Can I get DJ Monks?
yeah, DJ Mox, yeah.
Next thing, in a song, Lemonka. I'm like, okay, maybe there's another guy.
Oh, he changed your name.
Lemonka stuck, man.
Yeah.
Lemonka, I tried to fight it until he took off.
Yeah, even more.
Yeah.
You know, Mo was like Mojo Man.
Yeah.
I changed Mojo Man to Mo Mulim.
Hey.
You know, on YBA, that's when the Mulimi thing started. You know, yeah. So Jabba like called people names. Even Morafi was called Ill Tribe. I think he gave them that name. I forgot, but he contributed towards that name.
Yep.
That's what
who said that? Mulimi said that last week.
Yeah, he called them Morafi. So Jabba always coined him. That's what I was saying. Jabba was a creator of things, and many people always think that, you know what, like Jabba like always came up with a thought process. Now I'll say, my man, this can't work, this can work, this, you know, because he was always like creative. Remember, Jabba always wrote down everything in his notebooks. That's why he had heaps of notebooks. He always wrote down everything. When he thought about something, he wrote it down, and he'll develop it, writing it. Then he'll come and tell you, Sbizo, like, there's this thing I've been thinking. When he tells you about it, it means he has been writing all about it. Every time we had an argument, I'm like, dude, you write this thing down on paper. Because if you have written it down, then I can't have a discussion with you, because it's not an idea, it's not a concept. It's a plan.
Was this who decided?
Who decided? So every time we no, I've written about this thing, Sbizo, but you know, so yeah, I think that's, for me, that's that when it comes to
Where were you when you found out about this person?
in Spain. I'd gone to the World Music Expo. So I was abroad. So I had to hit a U10. Yeah.
Did you believe it? Because initially, Facebook Jabba passed, and obviously that was fake. How did you believe this is the truth?
Because of the drama. So like it happened today, then I heard about it on the news. I had people saying it's on the news. Then there was the drama that was breaking out. Then I had to come back, yeah.
Were you able to move past it, or like you say, Jabba is still within you even today?
No, I've never moved past it. I mean, if you have a friend that you have lived with for 22 years, and it's a real brother, you know, and it's your business partners, everything that you live for is connected to that. You can't just like outlive it, you know, like every day I think about him, every day, you know. Like I'm saying, worse, if I leave here, I go to Shopon, right? Somebody will come with a phone, yo man, I'm listening to Jabba's song, you know, like it's something that, you know, will never go away. I mean, I don't care about what people say or what people do, what people write, right? I don't need to prove my alliance with Jabba or anything. For me, what's more important is if Jabba's mother is happy, he wakes up every day, she's smiling, if Leon is happy, you know what, he's smiling, that's great. There's no bigger material than that. I don't give a fuck about Lekoko catalog. I created it. No one. I created that thing. From a commercial perspective, I created it. No one. Anyone who's going out there claiming that he created it is a clown and a half. I created it. I'm Anzi with Mo. Ask Mo. I stayed with Mo. I built the commercial. I didn't build the creative side. These guys are talented. Mo is left-handed. He can write a song in 2 minutes, it's done. I've seen these guys together, the two of them. I know their level. I know their skill set. Jabba is one guy who can record a song from the back, like, and record it backwards and do the ad-lib. So I know these guys, right? But commercially, business building, brand building, I was there. You were there. The t-shirts thing, right? It was fucked up. You came in, you looked for that white girl who was doing rapper for sure. You know, I told Jabba, like, dude, stop what you're doing with those guys. Go with what Lemonka is doing with this lady. Do this, do this, do this. And I said to him, at one point you're trying to do, I'm like, dude, just hand over this thing to Lemonka because you are bombing it. So like for example, Lungo, I brought in Lungo. Lungo is from Bots, and I told him there's a guy from Bots who's doing graphics. Then he later realized that Lungo is studying, Lungo's baby mama, Peaches, was friends with Leano's mom, Lerato Kai. Then from there he went, then he came to me, I'm like, dude, this is the same guy that I was telling you from in terms of you must meet.
Wow, Peaches.
I'm like, oh, no.
We're blind.
I'm like, yo, man. He was like, yo, man. So everything, like, even the Young Black and Ambitious, the one that Channel ran with it, we created.
Yeah, I remember that.
We created that thing. I can't say Channel stole it, but they went on and do whatever they wanted to do because we didn't patent it. But that whole logo, YB, Young Black and Ambitious, the way it's written and stuff like that, I took the font from the US and I gave it to Chops, and I'm like, Chops. Then he made it like Kevin. But I told Chops, like, oh, look, because I had come from New York and I had a lot of mixtape, and I said, this is the font that they're using in New York. Another time it was Fat Joe's mixtape. I had bought it in the street. Like guys were just selling the mixtapes in Bronx. Because when I went to the US, it was through Botswana government thing. So I went to the US for a music exchange thing. So I went to the street because I wanted to see Harlem and stuff like so. I kept on going to the streets, So I bought that whole Terror Squad thing and I showed it to. I gave it to look, for this YBA, please. Plate number, do this, Young Black and Ambitious. Because Jabba wanted it to be in a plate number. I'm like, no, dude, do it in a hip hop font. This is the font that I saw in many mixtapes in the US. So that's how I came about the whole thing. But the Young Black and Ambitious project, it was supposed to be about Northwest rappers and Botswana rappers. It never took off because you know what? He became big. You know what I'm saying? Jabba became a big star. So obviously when you become a big star, you get surrounded by many people. So he had new management, different ideas, and, it fell through the cracks.
Lekoko is turning 25 this year or next year? This year. Are you celebrating it, or what's the plan? What's the move?
Yeah, from a Botswana perspective, I'm going to do something. I'm going to do something. I just need to check with Leano what's in his headspace, right? Remember, like, if I'm going to do anything that's Lekoko related or Lekoko Entertainment or Jabba's name, remember, when we were starting to work, from a very young age, Jabba always said this thing. It's in his will, right? Even when I was working with him, he's like, Seabelo, if I'm going to die before you, please make sure that my son owns all my music, owns all my assets. I give out le mosadi le mmagwe ha ke batla a share sepele le ya right le wena ha ke batla khabate in his way ha ke batla khabate ntwana yaka. So personally and religious, I've always known all these years that Lekoko Entertainment is Leano's thing. That's a fact of life. It's in the man's will. I can't come in and say, yeah, because I'm on the company, we registered the company in Botswana, I'm a 50% sure. Dude, man, the guy has, you see my warehouse, you see my everything, you see how I move here. It's because of Jabba. Right? Even in SA, I'm doing work there. It's because of Jabba. So, I don't need any fucking TV interview, any journalist, any TV station, any radio station, any publisher, record company or lawyer or any court to validate me. Fuck all of them. Right? They can't validate me with Jabba because they were not there. So, the only people that can validate me is Leano. If Leano say, hey man, you're fucking bluffing, you never worked with my dad, that will be valid, right? Because that's the boy. You remember Leano Kana was born a week before YBA came out. No, before Oman Reloaded came out. He was born around that time. So he's a boy that I've seen Leano when he was a week old. I even have Leano's footprint from the birth certificate that Jabba sent me. I have that. that footprint and when he was like, I think a day old, Jabba took like from the birth certificate, he sent me the thing, I still have it. So I've known this boy since he was born like in our hands. Right? So I have known him all his life. So he's the only guy that can say, you know what, Sbizo? But no one can tell me anything, you know. And probably the guy that I've known, the other two people that I've known for the longest, it's you, it's Mo, and Kia. You know, Kia, Moki. Those are the other three people that I've known. Yes, there's both Taso, there's both Sticky and everybody, but I'm talking about the people that I've known the longest attached to Jabba, then the late DJ Zondi. Because Zondi, when he was at Motswako, he was coming and going. He was coming and going. Then he worked with Murav, but he was coming and going. He was always there. Even when he was always coming, he was always coming down with that class. He was always coming with KB, the late KB Molobza, to do the classics. They were always playing the classic in Motswako, you know. And he'll call me, then I'll go to Lubatsa. I didn't have a car. We'll stay at Cumberland, I'll come down, he'll come to Gabs and stuff like that. So those are the four people that I can say around Jabba I've known the longest. But another commercial person, I mean, among the Tswana speakers is Steve White. Then you'll got the business partners like Vusi Liu, Wandile Skosang, you know. But Steve White, you, Mo,
Kia.
Yeah, Kia. You are the guys that have been there, like, you know, that you have been there. Like, you know, you were there, you know. Yeah, like I'm saying, there are people who are producers and stuff like that and stuff, you know, have contributed. But another person that has played a very big role is Taso. Right? That's a guy that I think played a very big role in terms of dealing with a mature, difficult Jawula. How, I don't know, but I think maybe it's because Taso will threaten to beat him up at so Jabba will say, "Nah, Taso mure." So I think because Taso would threaten to give him a physical discipline, you know. So I think Taso played that role in Sticky. But I think the four of you, in terms of like the social guys that, you know, especially from Maftown, you know, and when we get to Joburg, Taso, Sticky, those are the guys that I know, or like, you know, yeah.
Okay. Stage productions.
Oh.
So
after Jabba passed away, right, I set up a company called Total Music Group because I had learned my lessons during the wars, during the court cases, during that, you know what, Jabba is no more, like, this thing is over. Number two, this guy long said that, hey, man, sailing something is in his ways. So I said 2 times, the plan was to start a label and stuff like that, you know. I started to push, I did a conference.
International conference.
Yeah, it was an international music conference. Started to do that. But during lockdown, right? No, I had events lab, like, I wanted to go into events. During lockdown, I watched an interview on YouTube at Trumbull because we were locked, we were doing nothing. So I started to Google stuff. Like I started to look at, like, you know what, I wanted to check out what are the executives doing. So I stumbled on Steve Stour's interview about United Masters, like this label that you are starting. It was independent, and I started Total Music Group. And I said I wanted to start a company that will have an event management wing, that will have an advertising agency, that will have a production company, that will have in terms of event production gear, that will have a film production company. In the middle of the chaos, then I met these guys who are film Bokon. And, you know, me and Kon, we started to produce content. We've been together, I think, maybe 6-7 years now. Like, we started to run, me and Kon. We've been together so many years. So he was building his own thing, cosine. I was doing my own thing. So the guys who were doing the awards, they had a big debt. I think it was about $1 million.
Which awards are these?
The Botswana Music Awards. So now I was writing on social media, guys, now I'm going to start a company. If you go to my social media, I'm going to do this company. I designed the logo during lockdown. I did everything, the collateral. I was actually having a fake payment. So I was leaving the house, coming to town, going into offices, hustling stuff while people are logged, right? So, submitting proposal, planning. So when everything opened up,
your movie,
no one had a plan. Guys were being rejected. People were conservative. So the boom guys, they came and said, no, so I told them, guys, this thing can't work as an event. We need to go into television, right? Remember, I'm with Kone, like, obviously he's got some
television production background.
Yeah. So I asked him questions. I'm like, dude, I think we're not long. You are thinking big time like after. I start to go to the street, and obviously I come from the street. I come to him, I'm like, dude, we're pitching this thing to the broadcaster. Say, we're selling you 52 episodes a year. You're paying us for, we want X amount of millions, but we'll nela TV show, we'll nela the Bomo Awards, and we'll give you an extra awards show. So we pitched 2 awards show to them. And a
TV show.
Yeah. As we were trying to do that, the first show, there's chaos. The guys that we have had, but sound, they are not in sync. So I'm getting there. I'm counting the lights. I'm asking guys, where can I buy these things? How much are they? Nobody can. So this thing, how much is it? So I sit back. I'm like, dude, I can't sit for this drama. I'm buying this for the next hours. I was telling him, cool, go on, the guy. And he thought like it was a big risk. Yeah, I was like, yeah.
How are you buying sound for the awards?
I'm like, dude, we're not only buying the awards, we have to go all the way and buy even cameras and everything. We must own everything. Because that's the means of, and I told him, the key in this business that we are in is the gear. Because anyway, those guys, they also go to SA and rent some of the gear to bring it here. Let us own this whole thing. So we invested in it. I got to the bank and told them, look, I've got this deal. Are you willing to put X amount of millions in this? They said, yeah, we can put it if you give us the guarantees and stuff like that. So I bonded my house in phase 2. My wife bonded the house in Trokweng. So we bonded a couple of properties. We released the equity in there. But there's more stuff that we're going to procure, even the cameras and camera work and stuff. This has given us an advantage, right? Because now we are renting this warehouse. It means between now and December, when we come back after editing that first show, we need to go into content day and night together with Mukulu. We need to, starting September to December to January, we need to be sitting here producing content. Even you've got some content where you want to put people in a bus from SA and come and shoot them. You can come use this place. It's 1 week, we take them, we put them at Medcourt, they shoot, we are done, we take it to multi-choice or wherever. Any type of show, if you want the studio, we can bring the people, the guests. Nowadays the flight is 2,000. If let's say it's 13 guests that we are flying in, it means 3,000 times 3, that's what, 40,000? So we can bring those people here, we shoot them, they fly in with a 6 a.m. flight, they fly back with a 6 p.m. flight, we're done with them. Or we can even fly 3 a day. They fly in the morning, we do whatever we do, they fly back in the evening. So the cameras are here, the lights are here, the LED screens are here, the sets, woodwork is here, everything is here. I've got the employees here, I've got guys that have done sets in SA, I've got everything. I can take whatever I have here and rent a warehouse in Johannesburg, stay there for 2 months if you want. We can shoot whatever we can shoot, or even rent a Airbnb. That was the idea that I had in mind. So these guys are always mobile, cool. They just have to put things in behind that small car. Our truck takes the things, it puts it there, it is insured. If somebody is to steal the screen, the insurance will pay us. So that's the mindset that we must take this thing in. If we're thinking of doing a TV show in Lesotho, we just check how much is a warehouse in Lesotho to rent it for a week. We rent it for a week, we get in there, we shoot, we run, we put the things in our truck, we bring it back to Gibbs. So that's what staged I was doing. So Events Lab is an eventing company. So I'm getting back to the eventing game, like doing gigs, doing stuff like that. Doing events. I just did the 70s for Grand Palm. So I'm doing just many things now. Like I'm partnering with guys like Ben T on the YSO. I'm helping him with gear, like guys like Lloyd. So I'm also going for youngsters, like who I am grooming, who are into events. I'm also trying to help young artists, When I was telling about one of the guys that works that is a good producer, AK, so guy that I think maybe in a couple of weeks, when I go to SA, I'll go with him, plug him with the piano guys I know, leave him there for 2-3 weeks, see what will come out. There's another chick called Pesalema, sings very well, just done her music, recorded her. Let's see where this thing takes us. You guys are there. We shoot the music videos, the cameras are there. I can always call favors from you, from everyone.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? Say, Lemonka, I've got this one, so come. Can you come and help us shoot the video? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. One thing I want to let you know is Sbizo, I don't think this Botswana shoot without you. Like, it was impossible.
Yeah.
I've shot Scar, I've shot Zeus, now I'm talking to you. Like, and mind you, I do know what it means to run a production. And I wish Batwaga it is Sbizo meeting because Uribuleze Pelo and you value relationships over money. Upela utusa.
No, I'm not helping, but I'm just making sure that I'm investing in people, right?
Yes.
In return, these people will bring back my investment. And my investment don't come up again as mine. Let me give you a typical example. We were looking for a director, we called you. You gave us a director, plugged him to Mkulu. Whether you don't see that as something big, but you know that guy that came, the value that he gave us, right? For me, Lemonka, it's not about the money. Anytime you wanted to come to Joburg, wherever, as long as we can cross the border and deliver it there, and you can find somebody to operate it, it's available. You know what I'm saying? Anytime for you. You don't even have to think about paying for anything. As long as these boys here, they're there, they're working, they're getting the experience, I'm fine. Because they need to be running in the right paths. They need to be linking with people like that's why they've left everything and they're here.
Hey guys, I appreciate you guys by the way. Manora. The team, you'll see the credits will be different on these episodes because obviously the team is different. Yeah. And on a Saturday, busy Mohaboroni, Majita stopped everything that they did or that they planned to do for the day, but Lemo.
But also the most important thing, right, is to teach the guys, right? To make them learn that when I was working with Jabba, I worked selflessly for a very long time without earning anything. Yes, I made a lot of money at the end, but in the beginning, I think it was about people used to say, you don't have a car. Like, but I could see the vision of the guy that I was working with. I believed in his vision, and because of my belief and my patience, look at where I am. So I'm doing the same thing with Kon, with Mkulu. Like, as much as it's frustrated that things are not moving, I think these days is much better that he's realizing that, you know what, cosign is like going to be big. Like
no. He's ready. I think he's ready. He moves like a coordinator, production manager, like director at the same time.
And I can tell you, give him 2, 3, 4 years. With what we're doing here, he'll be like far ahead. Good like Lynn, I won't, because I'm not trying to own him. I'm not trying to get a stake in what he's doing. I'm trying to say, yo, whatever that I own, if I buy a camera, if I buy this, it's yours. Like I always tell him, when you buy a camera, like his camera was stolen that day. I'm like, dude, take everything that Cosign owns, get a shelf, label it Cosign, keep it in the warehouse, label it under me on my insurance list. If something gets stolen in the street, claim it from the insurance. That's how you grow people. You get my point? You don't grow people by like every time when Mkhululi wants 500 for a drink, you give them. No. You grow them by building infrastructure around them that they can use at any time. Like, for example, I don't think there's anyone in film right now in terms of infrastructure that can touch him. He's got access to lighting, he's got access to LED screens, he's got access to sets, he's got access to everything. It's easy. He can build a team anytime and shoot anything he wants. It's up to him to say, what do I want to do? But the most important thing is for me to channel him and say, like, dude, you got to be close to Lemonka, know what he's doing. Dude, you got to be close to this guy, know him. So that also he gets to work with the right people. Because working with people, with everyone and anyone, it's something else, but working with the right people is something else as well.
In closing, Sbizo, how do you advise the industry? How can it grow?
I think the biggest challenge that we are having in for example, let's go back to Motswako, right? I don't think, starting with you, like, I think you fucked up with the Motswako tape. It must come out every year, no matter your frustration, because Motswako tape is not your own project. Like, it's a people's project. It's a young rapper's dream. It should be a young rapper's dream to be on the Motswako tape. You get what I'm saying? Because they would get to be in an album that has got Dukes, that has got more, that's got... I believe that Motswako tape must always be there. There must be... Right now we should be having Motswako tape, Lesotho Motswako tape, Botswana. It must be hosted by each and every DJ. You must do a Motswako tape hosted by WK. Like, Motswako tape must be hosted by each... It's no longer a Lemonka project, right? It must be a national project. Like, everybody that believes a Motswako DJ and stuff must be able to say... Lemonka ke kopa umfe brand ba Motswako tape ke na le bo mrapa ke ba, listen to the quality, listen to
Kenzo.
You know what I'm saying? Everyone, Kenzo must be able to host a Motswako tape. Motswako tape must be able to release as many. It's not about the number of volumes of streams and stuff. It's about giving a platform to rappers, right? I think the biggest challenge that Motswako is facing right now is gatekeeping of the highest order. There's literally no way that the last ever national, probably Motswako rapper is Naughty. Like a rapper that came, Fifi came through, signed to Ambitious and stuff, but there was nothing, just barren. You know what I'm saying? But there's literally no way that we can have Naughty as the last, probably of a generation. That's so many years. I believe everyone who's in Motswako should have 2 or 3 artists under them, understudying them. They don't have to be rappers. You can have a solo artist. You can have... I think we've got that moral obligation not only to the industry, but to Botswana as a nation, right? We've got that moral obligation. We're not Lemonka. Going to say, out here, you don't have to sign them. You just have to show them the door. Yes, the artist did a piece. Mara. If we don't help these people, who's going to help them?
That's true.
If we don't guide them and show them, we tell them, I go sign, I get a good company now. Message. I think that is the level that I'm at. I think for me, everyone, can you imagine what was going to happen with all those guys there that are performing tonight had 3 artists under them who they are just mentoring. When I was counting the number, it's like around 15 artists that I saw from yesterday up to tomorrow. That would mean we've got 45 artists. 45.
That's piano level.
That's 45 artists. The wave that's coming. If 5 make it out of the 45, you know, like right now, it's sad, man. There's nothing happening in Northwest. I saw Mahika Mahikeng hosting a Mapiano event and kenning a Maftown Heights or a Maftown event. I'm like, why didn't they just do a Motswako Fest and open the door for free? Because this thing is a government thing. Let everybody go in. Why don't they just do a traditional event, call in Bo Culture Spears and just open the door? Because I feel that maybe we are getting to a point where we must organize one of the biggest. You remember the five bob the five rand show ya Jabba, or somebody gives the 5 rand coin, he pays it on the I think we're getting to a point where we have to do a Motswako artist, a real Motswako artist. We bring all the biggest traditional artists in Botswana, all the biggest traditional artists in the Northwest, all the biggest Motswako artists, all the biggest Motswako as both SA here. Alternative genres, bo Franco, bo Chogu, and do like that big free gig. I'll take out my sound, I'll plant it in Motenga Stadium. People papa tele 5 rand go khorani. Ma 5 rand go khobokangwa ke na ra khobokangwa ba nelwa mabana. We come here, we do the same. Ma 5 rand go khobokangwa nelwa as cancer. I think that will create a lot of interest because people will know that they're going to the stadium. It's starting in the morning. We're doing it for ourselves. It's for our culture. We don't want anybody who's not a Motswana or who doesn't speak any dialect from Botswana in that lineup. I think it will be like more of a self-discovery show than a monetary event. For me, I think that is the biggest thing that we need. But over and above that, I think the time has come for the Northwest government and Botswana government to sit around the table and create real creative industry entrepreneurs than tenderpreneurs. What is happening now with people like winning events for 10 years? We need a situation where Scar's podcast, right, can go into the SA mainstream media, starting with Northwest, with ease. I mean, it's sad that up to now, the ownership of the genres and the culture is in a few hands. We've got to take back the ownership, the means of production. You get my point? There is no philosophy in the world that says that if you are a creator, somebody must own your soul in order for you to make money. It's only the Motswako and the traditional guys from Botswana where they don't own masters, they don't own their own studios. So we need to make sure that what I'm doing, everybody does it, like what Mo is doing with his farm. We need to take the means of productions and own them and control them. And the beauty about this thing is that, you've got Connie who's from Botswana who's trying his own thing. You've got you who's doing your own thing in film. We've got Fred. So we are growing now. But at one point, we need to meet at the apex and say, you know what, guys, that's Botswana. We want to own the means of production in totality. Because that way, this era of middlemen, it will die because middlemen must die. Chance takers must die. Go to Buma Chansani. Lemonka get like into then from there about 50%. So we need to kill that thing about Chansani. The middlemen, because the culture about Botswana, whether get traditional music, whether get Motswako, it the middlemen. So we need to get rid of middlemen in all levels of the business. Whether it's eventing, we need to get to a point where, like now I see Tux and Mulimi, they've got their own event. We need to get to a point where that event, right, can be held at Sunbet Arena without a middleman. Anybody that's coming there as a service provider is getting paid whatever that's agreed. Because we have allowed people business. So Motswako can't go this time because everything. So that shit, I think the time is gone. That era is gone, and it's a conversation a lot of sense. But I'm happy that there's movement now. Look, man, you guys are here, you're shooting a podcast. The other guys are doing an event. There's movement in Motswako now, there's Bomojo, they're doing something in Joburg. I hear it sold out. It's a good thing. I think after this, I'll call Scar, because I think this probably his 30 years anniversary. I don't know how many years Scar has been in this thing, to see if we could help him, to celebrate Illegal Act, his first album, which paved way for commercial hip hop, and say, look, Scar, let's see if we can bring 2 or 3 or 4 of those Motswako guys to your event. We do an Illegal Act celebration. I think let's do, feel good stuff instead of emotional draining stuff. I think for me, that's where we're at. But like I'm saying, I'm happy that you talked to him and Because these guys, Lemonka, unfortunately, they came in very young. They carried a lot of responsibility of building an industry with nothing, and as kids. Now they are adults, and probably they believe they don't have anything to show for what they've built. And the question is, who's talking to them? Who are they talking to about their frustration? Now they're going on social media, they look like they're bitter guys. But when you come into their head, you realize that these guys, they must not be led to go astray unsupported. They need that support system. Although I also need it at one point. But I think I have decided that, man, you know what, I must become more of a builder than a guy that is looking at these people. Like Scar, I was supposed to do his 100 episodes, I was not available. But I'm thinking, like, after the interview, after our chat, I need to call him in and like have coffee and say, like, dude, let's work on this thing together, Yeah.
Thank you, Sbizo.
Yeah, man.
This was amazing chat. You always take my calls day and night. I don't know how to but thank you so much.
Cool, man. Cool.
Ladies and gents, Sbizo, Seabelo, Modibe. Thank you.
Okay, that's enough.